What actually happens when your next financial advisor isn't a human being, but an artificial intelligence? It sounds like straight up science fiction, right? But honestly, it's happening right now. Today, literally millions of people are turning to AI to figure out investing, to build a budget, or even to try and decode the stock market. But here's the catch. AI can sound incredibly confident, even when the answer it's spitting out isn't exactly right. So the real question we need to tackle today isn't whether AI can help you with your money. The question is, should you actually trust an AI with your financial future? Let's dive right into this explainer and find out. To really wrap our heads around the scale of this shift, consider this. Recent U.S. research found that about 18% of American adults have already used AI for financial guidance. I mean, just think about that for a second. That's nearly 1 in 5 adults sitting there, typing prompts into a chat box, asking things like, how should I invest my money? Or, hey, can I retire early? And the data shows this is catching on even faster with younger generations. We are right in the middle of a massive, rapid behavioral shift in how people are looking for financial truths. So how do we actually navigate all this? Well, here is our roadmap for the explainer. First, we'll cover the rise of financial AI. Then, we're going to look at fast versus correct answers and analyzing data versus predicting markets. After that, we'll go through the smart AI money strategy, look at real growth versus just hype, and finally, bring it all back to your money and your decisions. All right, let's jump in. Section 1, the rise of financial AI. Why millions are turning to AI for money advice. Look, people are flocking to these tools because, well, traditional advice operates on a 9-to-5 schedule. Getting instant explanations for really complex financial terms at, say, 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, that is a massive step forward for financial education. But, and this is a huge distinction we absolutely have to make, using AI to explain an ETF is completely different from trusting an AI to dictate your actual financial future. Blurring the lines between those two, that is exactly where people get into serious trouble. Which brings us to Section 2, fast versus correct answers, the hidden danger of convenience. Because we're all so used to getting instant gratification online, it's incredibly easy to confuse a fast answer with a correct answer. Just think about everything an AI inherently doesn't know about you. It doesn't know your exact income, your debt, your totally unique tax situation, or your family responsibilities, like maybe you're caring for an aging parent. Without all that personal context, a fast answer from a chatbot might be mathematically correct in a vacuum, but entirely wrong for your actual real-world life. Now, thankfully, it seems like most of us intuitively get this limitation. Despite that massive 18% adoption rate we talked about just a minute ago, recent research actually shows Americans still place substantially more trust in professional human financial advisors than they do in AI for actual financial guidance. And AI is great at explaining a concept, comparing a couple of scenarios, or organizing your data, but that definitely doesn't mean you should hand it the keys to your financial house. For the heavy lifting, humans still rightfully trust humans. Moving right along to Section 3, analyzing data versus predicting markets, the collision of AI and the stock market. So because AI is basically a supercomputer sitting right there in your browser, its true superpower is analyzing information. It can summarize a dense 100-page earnings report in seconds, or neatly organize data looking backward. But this builds a really hard boundary that we absolutely must respect. Analyzing the past is not predicting the future. No AI out there possesses a crystal ball to guarantee market movements, simply because markets are driven by completely unpredictable human factors. Interest rates, geopolitics, all of it. AI can read the past, for sure, but it literally cannot see the future. So if you're ever interacting with an AI and it confidently tells you, oh, this stock is definitely going to explode, you need to hit the brakes. Do not automatically believe it. Instead, you should always reply with this exact prompt. What evidence supports this conclusion? Seriously, force the AI to show its work. You gotta treat it like a junior analyst pitching you an idea, not some all-knowing oracle looking into a crystal ball. Demand the data behind the claim. Okay, Section 4, the smart AI money strategy. How to use AI safely. The real secret here is reframing AI. Don't look at it as a financial dictator. Look at it as a highly capable financial assistant. Here is a super actionable 5-point strategy for safely leveraging these tools. Step 1, education. Ask it to explain dense investing concepts in really simple language. Tell it, hey, explain this to me like I'm in high school. Step 2, organization. Paste in a messy list of your monthly expenses and have it categorize them to help you build a realistic budget.
Step 3, research. Use it to quickly understand what a specific company actually does or to decode industry jargon. Step 4 is scenario planning. Ask things like, what happens if I save $500 a month for 20 years at a 7% return? That's a brilliant way to see the power of long-term compounding in action. And finally, step 5, and honestly, this is the most important one, challenge assumptions. Instead of asking, should I buy this stock? Ask, what are the strongest arguments against buying this stock? Use AI to intelligently challenge your own biases and find your blind spots.
All right, zooming out a bit for Section 5, real growth or just hype, the macroeconomic impact of AI. Because look, AI isn't just changing our personal checking accounts. It is fundamentally altering the global economy. Businesses are pouring absolutely massive amounts of capital into AI infrastructure and huge data centers. But all of this money flooding in brings us to a classic, really provocative question that investors have to face whenever capital rushes into a new technology. How much of this growth is actually real, and how much is just hype? It's a question we've seen play out throughout history. Think railroads, the internet, smartphones. It creates immense opportunities, sure, but it also creates immense risks for investors. And AI? Well, it might just be the absolute biggest version of this historical trend we have ever seen. So definitely keep that in mind when you're evaluating the broader market. And that brings us to Section 6, your money, your decision, the final takeaway. Ultimately, the future of finance is not humans versus AI. The winners are going to be the people who use AI intelligently while fiercely maintaining their own independent thought. I love this philosophy. Don't ask AI to think for you, ask it to help you think better. AI is an absolutely phenomenal sounding board. It can process data, give you fresh possibilities, and highlight risks you might have totally missed on your own. But when push comes to shove, the ultimate responsibility for your money and your financial future rests entirely on your shoulders alone. The final decision is always yours. So, as you step into this new landscape, use AI to educate yourself, to organize your data, and to aggressively challenge your own assumptions. Build wealth with knowledge, not hype. The machines are ready to assist you. But in the end, will artificial intelligence be the tool that builds your wealth or the blind spot that costs you your fortune?